Hey guys, Coach Micheal Burt. I hope you're having a great Sunday. Beautiful day here in Tennessee. I've got just a few minutes before, I got just Central Standard Time. I thought I'd come on a little bit early to make sure we're up and going on YouTube. We're on my Facebook channel, both Facebook channels, right? And if you're out there, you can comment on my YouTube. You can comment on Facebook, and we're going to get started here in just a few minutes with this live masterclass on the new book, $1 Million Days, right? I'm really excited about this. How do you experience bigger financial futures or bigger financial possibilities and make big table moves? So the book is not just about, experiencing $1 million day, hence the title. It really is a book about expansion. I'm really in a period of my life where I am kind of fascinated with quantum leaps, helping people expand their thought, activating their dreams, activating their talents, activating their skill sets. And over the last 2 years, this is kind of what I've committed to. And you're going to see me kind of move toward writing this big book called The Big Table, which is what we promised at the Greatness Factory. Like, hey, we're here to get you a seat at a bigger table. And the bigger table represents the biggest opportunities available to you. That's highly enjoyable. It's highly profitable. It's highly meaningful. There's a return on your energy. There's a return on your investment. There's a return on your objectives. So when I'm writing these smaller books, they're actually leading us toward a bigger book that I'll make a run at a New York Times, a bestseller. But the small books are keeping me sharp, right? And this particular book, $1 Million Days, is really a book about just expansion. Like, is it possible for you as an individual to experience $1 million day, right? And is it, and you may say, well, it's not possible right now. Well, it could not be possible because of the vehicle that you're in, or misapplied talents and skills, or you can't quite figure out this formula that we're going to teach tonight, skill, problem, vehicle. And so you're kind of frustrated. And I wrote about that in a previous book called 8-Figure Skills Stuck in 6-Figure Vehicles. And that was really me as a young basketball coach. Really started feeling this way around 28 years old, 29, 30. I won a championship, I think, at 30 or 31. And I really started to have a commercial instinct for a bigger play, a bigger financial play, but really just a bigger dream, a bigger hope, a bigger goal, and a bigger impact. Okay. So if you're out there tonight, I see that you can, I'm watching on YouTube right here, right? It's on Facebook, both my Facebook pages. You can comment. You're going to have a chance tonight to purchase the book $1 Million Days. If you haven't, you can go to my website and purchase this book for select people who are really serious about doing something with me in the future. We're going to allow you to book a call with me, or me to call you, and Caitlin on my team will be reaching out to the people who purchased the book to book a call with me. I'm opening up some times over the next 2 weeks that I will actually call you or talk to you. We've been doing this as a strategy over the last 2 weeks in my speaking engagements, and so many people have bought the book. We're now trying to tighten that up. Like, so now Caitlin will get with you. She'll send you a link. You can book a call with me. But I would just encourage you, unless you're open to some possibility with me, you're thinking about coaching, you're thinking about being a member at the Greatness Factory. If you just want to buy the book, buy the book. But if you want to talk to me about really digging in, and you're ready to make a commitment to something bigger, you're really ready to dig into your potential, you believe in the renewing of your mind, you believe in coaching, you need a structure, you're out there looking for a bigger possibility, you believe I'm the guy who can help you, that's the people I want to book a call with, right? I'm looking for Navy SEALs, not baby SEALs, okay? So if you just want to buy the book and you're not interested in any of those things, then just buy the book. But if you are, when Caitlin reaches out to you, she'll give you a link. We'll get you on my schedule over the next probably 2 to 3 weeks, and I would love to visit with you, okay? All right, I have 501, okay? And I could see the people on YouTube. Jacob Salem, thank you. Travis Welch, Rich Grove Investments from Oregon. I like that. Matt Kern, as you guys come on to YouTube or Facebook, let me know where you're at, man. Let me know where you are in the world. Let me know if you've already ordered the book, already received the book. The book's been shipped out. Some of you are already getting the book. I was rereading the book tonight, and I'm like, man, this is a good book, right? Like, I know I wrote it, but I'm like, this is making me think. This is making me think about bigger possibilities. This is making me think about using my skill in a bigger way. This is making me think about, what is my skill? What is the problem that I wake up in the morning and I'm passionate about solving, right? And what vehicle do I need to be in that is the right vehicle to distribute my gifts and talents to the world? So don't get caught up in, it's just a book about making money. I know a lot of people see me and they go, hey, you're really big into monetization. I'm big into monetization because I see so many people struggle with money. I see so many people that can't get into a coaching program because they don't have money. They can't drive a nicer car because they don't have the money. They can't send their kids to the schools they want because they don't have the money. So I am very big on taking your skills and talents and exchanging those to solve a problem in the world, and then being compensated for that. That's what I'm big on. So, but don't get caught up on that. The book is really about unlocking bigger possibilities. Okay? It's really about opening the door to where you're capable of going. And I know that through my own journey of being a high school basketball coach, then transition to a coach and a speaker, then transition to a guy that bought a bunch of real estate, then transition to a guy who wants to build more greatness factories and expand, then transition to a guy who started multiple funds or co-founders on multiple funds to raise millions of dollars and buy big real estate deals or invest in data centers or be on the board of directors of publicly traded companies. And we're going to talk about all that tonight, because I don't want you thinking, well, I can't do that, right? Success is out there, but it ain't for me. It's only for the lucky. It's only for the strong. It's only for people that have the kind of prey drive they have. I want you to start thinking, if he can do it, I can do this. I want you to start thinking, instead of emulating these people that you read their books, I want you to start thinking, I want to become one of these people, right? Start self-talking yourself. I have a seat at a bigger table. I am a person of interest. People are counting on me to show up and grow up and deliver. When a man asks me to go 1 mile, I'll go 2. I always over deliver on what I promise. So I want to get you in the mindset tonight that this is possible for you, right? Steve Caputo and Susanna Hodges and Don Berg and Darius Howard, and man, I love it. Okay. I love it. It's possible for you. Okay. So tonight, what we're going to be doing is taking the new book, $1 Million Days, 87 pages. Okay. You could read this in an hour to 2 hours. You can get this at my website. Okay. Subtitle: Bigger Financial Possibilities and Big Table Moves. And when I write a book, I'm like, I want to break this book down for people. Okay. So throughout the night, you can purchase the book. It's $14.95. We ship it straight to your house. And if you, and then Caitlin on my team is going to reach out to you. Okay. She's going to say, would you like to book some time with Coach Burt? If you're serious about playing at another level, you want to talk about something bigger, we'll give you a link. You'll go to my schedule over the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'll do 15-minute strategy call with you. Right. And then we'll see how we can help you move from A to B. Okay. Let's get this party started. $1 Million Masterclass, $1 Million Days. Now let's go back to a story of origin. And a story of origin is a time in your life where 3 things happened. Okay. And those 3 things kind of look like this. First, you had some big revelation. And a revelation is a sudden, dramatic moment. Okay. Something happened in your life. You may call it an aha moment, but there was some big, sudden, dramatic moment. Because of that sudden, dramatic moment, you now have some type of deep conviction. And conviction is a deep-seated belief in something. Okay. Because of the conviction, you are compelled to take an action and follow that action up and suffer for that action and sacrifice for that action and see something through to its conclusion. So you had a big revelation, okay? Maybe called a trigger moment. Because of that trigger moment, your eyes are open. You've been exposed. Your prey drive is activated. You see a bigger play. Because of that, you now really believe in something, man. It's transformed. It's right. It's inside of you, not external from you. Because of that, you're willing to take an action. So my trigger moment for me, Gary Wicker and Robert Sampson, was 2 big trigger moments when I wrote this book. One was when I was a young basketball coach. I'm 25 years old. People were constantly asking me, what are you doing with these players? They have so much chemistry. They have so much trust. They have so much buy-in. They play so hard for you. Like, what are you doing with these kids? And I said, man, I don't know how to explain it. So I'm going to sit down and write a book about it. Now, listen to what I'm about to tell you. I had no idea how to write a book. I had no idea how to commercialize a book, no idea how to sell a book. Like, it's not like I just knew. I'm like, man, I think I have something valuable. I'm going to write it down and I'm going to share it with other people, not for money. I didn't want to make a lot of money. It was not like I'm going to write a book and it's going to be Harry Potter and it's going to sell 1 million copies and I'm going to become famous. That's really not what I was thinking. It was more like, hey, people are always asking me what I'm doing. I must have something that's valuable. So I wrote a small book called Changing Lives Through Coaching. And around this time, I'm 25 years old. I don't remember exactly how much money I was making. Probably around $32,000 is what I put in the book. I'm guessing there because it was many years ago, but it wasn't a lot of money. But I didn't care. Okay, I did not care because I fell in love with helping other people reach their potential. I fell in love with coaching. I didn't think about money. I had a $119,000 condo. I loved it. I drove a decent little car. I never had more than $2,500 in my bank account. I'm just focused on being the best, man. That's what my focus was, okay? But I write this little book, and it got out in the hands of people, and somehow I got the opportunity to go speak at a major company, and that company was Dell Computers, okay? And this was my first big revelation. So let's go to the board, and let me show you what I'm talking about here. So remember, we have some big revelation. This is a moment. Let's call that a trigger moment. Because of the revelation, we now have a conviction. This is a belief. Because of this, we now take in action. Okay? 3 steps to doing something big right here. Okay? 3 steps to doing something big. Now, when I'm sitting there and I'm having these things, I'm coaching my basketball team, and this is how I want you to think about it. Okay? I am working my butt off, and I'm working 80 hours a week times 4 weeks. I'm working 320 hours. They are compensating me $32,000. And I remember it being somewhere around, I don't know, $2,000 to $2,500. This was for 320 hours of work. Now, at that time, I wasn't the best coach in America. I was an up-and-coming coach. I had a lot of prey drive. I had a commercial instinct. And it's like, hey, man, I'm trying to do something bigger in my life. Now, when you think about this, I'm coaching my little heart out, and I didn't even care. Look, I'm making $2,500 right here a month, 320 hours. If you do the math, folks, that's not a lot of money. Okay, then I write this little book called Changing Lives Through Coaching. It's a little self-published book. I didn't even know how to publish it. Then somebody asked me to go out and speak. Okay, so I'm asked to go out and speak. And I go out and speak for 1 hour. And I speak for 1 hour on my book at Dell Computers. And they paid me, let's just say $2,500 for 1 hour. Same skill. So over here for 10 years, I'm developing a skill. Skill of building competitive intelligence. Skill of inner engineering people. Skill of activation of prey drive. Skill of amalgamating a team. Skill of trying to win championships. Skill of bounce. Over here, I'm developing a skill. And I did this for 13 years. Really 16 when I first started. But 13 years at this one place. And I'm building a skill. And I'm building a skill. And I'm building a skill. Okay? Most people cannot tell me what their primary skill is. They're never going to have $1 million day because they have an average skill. Or they're not solving a big problem. Or they're in the wrong vehicle. So I go over here and bingo, I make the same amount of money in 1 hour that I make in 320 hours. Big revelation, because I didn't even know they're going to pay me. I go home that night and I go, listen to this. What skill do I have? Okay, I want you to ask yourself right now, out of all the skills you got, what skill do I have? That is the strongest skill. And it can't be cotton candy. Like I'm a good person. I work hard. I got a good people skills. It's like, I know how to do X, man. Based on my unique past and my unique experiences, I know how to win. I know how to build something. I know how to create something. I know how to, right? I know how to do something. So I go home that night and I go, what skill do I have? And then it's like, okay, what if I could take that skill out there and I started speaking And the speaking led to coaching, but the coaching was in corporate America. And that one of the very first assignments I had at 31 years old is a healthcare company said, we're going to pay you $12,000 a month, but we only want you to coach for 1 week. So that's $144,000 for 1 week a month. Everybody see this? Rob Ortiz, Brad Newberry. See, I'm taking the same skill and I'm using it in a different vehicle. I'm taking the same skill and I'm using it in a different vehicle. And I'm having these big revelations. Oh my gosh, like I have something that's very valuable. And there are people who will compensate me at a higher level. Okay? Over here, 320 hours, 2,500 a month. Over here, 1 hour, 2,500. Over here, 1 week, 12,000, 144,000. Okay, let's take it one step further. So then I keep this train moving, and I'm like, okay, where else could I take this skill? And then I take this one skill. So here's the skill right here of activation. That's my skill. And I started signing coaching agreements, contracts. And pretty soon, I got my little coaching business, which was called Maximum Success in the early days. I got it to about 500,000 of revenue. Then I remember when I broke 1 million of revenue. Now, look at where I started. I started over here making 32,000. And now within a short period of time, I'm going to say 3 to 5 years, I crossed over the 1 million. Now, if you get to 1 million of revenue, you are in the top 4 to 7% of small businesses in the United States. Like 96%, maybe 93 to 96% of small businesses will ever break $1 million of revenue. So you're not going to have $1 million day, okay, if the business is not even making $1 million, okay? So I started to go, okay, I have a skill. So this is what I call a trigger moment. This is what I call a thunderbolt. This is what I call a revelation, okay? This is one of my first big revelations that I began to have, okay? Now, let's fast forward many years later, and I'm out in the world, and I'm watching a podcast, and the podcast is with Lewis Howes and Price Pritchett. And Price Pritchett is the great psychologist that wrote U Squared, the Quantum Leap Strategy. I have a deep affinity for him. He and I have done things together this past year. He's like a mentor to me. And I'm watching this interview, which I watch every day. Lewis Howes, Price Pritchett. And Price Pritchett was a clinical psychologist. He got his PhD in psychology. He's a clinical psychologist. He spent a year in a psychiatric ward. He worked in the Pentagon. He did executive assessments. And then one day, he walks into his office and he says to his team, we're going to be #1 in mergers and acquisitions. And his team was like, we don't do mergers and acquisitions. We do, right, executive assessments. And he says, we're going over there. And he says, mergers and acquisitions is the big table. It's the biggest game in business. And when I heard that, I'm like, huh. He took the same skill and he took it to a new arena. Now, you're going to hear me in the book refer to this as baking soda. Okay, this is a way to get you to remember this. In the old days, they used baking soda to bake. Okay, today they use baking soda to deodorize. Some people brush their teeth with it. It's the same product used in a different way. I want you to think to experience $1 million day, to experience a quantum leap. Sometimes you have to use the same skill in a different way. Same skill to solve a different problem. Same skill in a different vehicle, because you may not be able to experience a bigger fight. Just like me, I'm a high school basketball coach. Then I become an author. Then I become a speaker. Then I become a coach. Then I become a businessman. Then I become a fund manager. Then I become a board of director of a publicly traded company, right? Then I become a real estate guy. Same skill used in a different way. So the trigger moment for me was watching Pritchett talk about, okay, I'm a clinical psychologist, and he said this, and I write this in the book. I had a commercial instinct. That means he wanted to monetize his skills. I had a commercial instinct and an ambition to take my skills to a bigger arena. So if we stop right here and I were to ask you, what does the big table mean to you? Okay? What is the biggest game in business for you? People ask me all the time what the biggest game in business to me. It's becoming open more greatness factories, which we're finalizing the economic model right now. You're going to see me build 50 greatness factories. You're going to see me strategically partner with people probably all over the United States and maybe all over the world. It's raising capital for Blue Marlin Capital. We're investing in data centers. We're flipping these data centers. It's raising money for Pitch Equity, our private equity fund, $100 million, and doing big real estate deals, right? It's coaching people all over the world. That is the big table. So for you, what is the biggest game in business for you? Okay, and let's just set the stage. What does that mean? The big table has these components to it. Number one, it's highly enjoyable. Number two, it's highly profitable. Number three, it's highly meaningful. Also, there is a return on your energy. That means you're getting energy versus draining your energy. There's a return on your objective. There's a return on your investments. Time, money, energy. This is a big table opportunity, guys. This is a big table opportunity. Okay? So if I were asking you today, and David's asking, how do I get a call? The way you get a call is you purchase the book at my website, coachburt.com. Caitlin on my team will reach out to you. If you're serious about doing something bigger with me, coaching, being a member at the Greatness Factory, me helping you, one-to-one, group coaching model, then you will get a link. The link will book a call with me. It's a 15-minute strategy call. Okay, but you got to be serious about wanting to do something, right? Not you just want to say hi to Coach Burt. Okay. Now, so this is David put this is A to B. So A to B is really you're over here at A. This is your current situation, and you are frustrated by where you are today. It's a good thing, man. Value the frustration. Value the plateau. Where there's no pain, there's no change. If you're sitting at a small table and you're sick and tired of sitting at a small table, if you're an 8-figure person stuck in a 6-figure vehicle, if you're highly talented yet you're undercapitalized, you don't have the knowledge you need, you may not have the skills you need, you may not have the prey drive you need, you may not have the confidence you need, or you don't have the relationships that you need. We flip the switch and add these components to you, your world's going to get bigger. You're going to be expansive. You're going to be a person of expansion here. Okay, so you're at A and you're trying to get to B. And let's just say B is the big table. In between A and B is two things. Who can help you? Hopefully you guys are seeing me as one of your who's. So there's internal who's you need, and there's external people you need. And then up here, there's action. And every step you take is a step toward the B goal. Now, what is the B goal? The big table, highly enjoyable, highly profitable, highly meaningful. There's a return on your energy. There's a return on your objective. There's a return on your investments. What I'm doing is I'm codifying, okay? I'm breaking down and codifying. This is exactly step by step how you get a seat at a much bigger table. Most of my coaching, for all the people that are on there that are actually coaching members where I'm coaching right now, I drill in their brain skill, problem, vehicle. Find the skill, find the problem. You don't need to find your why. You don't need to know your purpose. You need to find your skill. Okay? Then you need to find the problem that you are passionate about solving. Then we need to figure out what is the vehicle that you want to put this into, because some of you are 8-figure people stuck in 6-figure vehicles. You're 7-figure people stuck in 5-figure vehicles. That was me as a young basketball coach. So when we're doing the A to B exercise, I'm frustrated over here and I really want to get over here. But we need an aiming point. And an aiming point looks like this. Coach Burt's going to build 50 greatness factories. I'm going to show that there's $1 billion that has been exchanged in these 50. Okay. And then I'm going to package this up and sell it to private equity as a deal flow center. That's an aiming point. Everybody see that? I need something to move toward. I need something to drive toward. That distinguishes the difference between a high value of my time and a low value of my time. A high value of my time is things that move me toward the aiming point. So I ask a lot of people, what's your aiming point? And they say, well, my aiming point is I want to exit my company. My aiming point is I want to do this. My aiming point, okay, most people tell me they don't know what their aiming point is. So like, where are we going? What are we trying to do? Okay. So when you think about this, we're doing A to B. I didn't used to write down on my A to B, hey, I'm experiencing $1 million days. Okay. What I wrote down is these things. Listen very closely. My passive income is greater than my living expenses. I'm raising capital. I got a seat at a much bigger table. I'm building greatness factories. I'm having fun. I'm doing what I love doing in a healthy and positive manner. I'm getting a seat at a much bigger table. Everybody see how I'm doing this? I'm actually this is what I'm writing down over here. This is what my coaching company is doing. This is what our private equity fund is doing. This is what Blue Marlin Capital is doing. This is what, you see where I'm going? We're getting Safe Space, the publicly traded company, to $2 to uplist and then $10 of stock, right? It's like this is where we're going. Now, in between these two things is who can help me. And you would see me sit and map it out and go, this is who I need, this is who I need, this is who I need. And I don't say actual people, I put profiles of people. I need someone who knows how to do this, this, and this. Externally, these are strategic partners. These are people I need to get a seat at a bigger table, okay? Now, if you have questions, you can, if you're on YouTube, you can ask those questions in YouTube, and I'm looking at them right now, okay? Veronica cites, yes, the greatness factories are really deal flow centers. I do not want to be in the commercial real estate space where they're co-working spaces. There's a co-working space opening up on every corner. It's not a space I want to be in. You get a small multiple when you go to exit. I want to be able to show we have 50 of these greatness factories. There's been $1 billion that has been generated or originated or sourced in those, and then take the whole portfolio and say, here you go, private equity, okay, and cash that thing out for 100 million plus. That's just in my mind. So greatness factory equals deal flow factory, okay? Now, how do you attract people to the big table? People are attracted to other people that are doing big things. Like gravitate toward like. So you're going to find tonight that the way to get in a seat at a bigger table is from your skill. Okay, what makes you a person of interest at the end of the day is your skills. Okay, and like gravitate toward like. Skill recognizes skill. Okay, all right, great questions. For the call, I need to look for an email for Caitlin. Yes, you buy the book, and if you purchase the book at coachburt.com, you will get a message from Caitlin. If you're serious about doing a call, she'll send you a link, and over the next 2 to 3 weeks, we will do a call together. Okay, all right, let me get some water here. This is good. David Perez, David, Darius, good morning. You must be in another country. I like that. Medicare Authority, Rob Ortiz. Okay, and I don't even know how many people are watching on Facebook. All right, let's get to the next day. Here's the revelation about $1 Million Days. And I'm going to put this in in buckets. Two gentlemen came to me one day and they said in the Money Lab, I'm here at the Greatness Factory tonight. And they said, we need to meet with you. And it was two gentlemen that had not a startup company, but a company that was in its infancy that wanted to grow. And that company at that time was called Healthcare Integrated Technology Company. And they came to see me and they said, we would like to ask you to invest in the company. Okay. And I said, would you like me for my money or for my influence? Scott Boroff, the CEO of that company, said both. Okay. And I go, okay, I'm speaking tomorrow. Why don't you come and see me speak? And then we'll reconvene and we'll talk about this after I've had a chance to do some discovery. Okay. So this is what happened. They came and they asked for an investment. I said, why don't you come and see me speak? I got to showcase my skill of activation. This is my skill. As soon as they saw me speak, they said, we want you to join the board of directors for influence and activation. Let's pretend for a second I got in when the company's stock was at 6 cents. I come in, I use my skill of activation. We help them raise $10 million of runway money for that company. We start bringing new concepts of social media, activation, marketing, events. And let's pretend that the stock goes up to 90 cents. I think that at one time it got up to $1.85. Okay, if you had a $100,000 investment in that company and it goes up 6 times 12 is what, 72. So let's just call it 15 times. Then if it goes up this in over a period of time, and that's $1.5 million. There was a day that the stock jumped up to $1.80. And I remember it like it was yesterday. It's like, hey, you just had a $3 million day or something like that. You got to remember, I was an athletic coach. It was like, hey, we just had a multi-million-dollar day. This is one of the things that prompted me to write this book. I'm like, how did that happen? Like, I own stock in this company. I didn't do the work. It's called Safe Space Global Corporation. I didn't do the work. I just used my skill to help them become more known, raise capital through activation, and my stock just went up 1.5 to $3 million. And when this happened in one day, we just had $1 million day. And interesting enough, I think there were about 100 investors that got in through affiliation with us or through our network of people. They all had $1 million day. Okay. And when that happened, I go, my goodness, man, we just had $1 million day. We just made $1 million in a day. The value of our stock just went up $1 million in one day. Okay. So I started deconstructing it and going backward. I'm like, what happened? So this was $1 million day. How did I get on the board of directors? Because I had a skill of activation. I used the skill of influence and activation, help them raise capital to give them some runway money. Because of that, I was rewarded with stock. Plus, I put another $100,000. I bought another 1 million shares of stock in the company or somewhere around there. And so because I believed in the company. So then it's like, okay, man, this was not hard. This was relatively easy. See, there's hard money. If you're out there watching this right now, Brad Newberry said he had a $500,000 day in Safe Space. There's hard money. Let's call that headache money. A lot of time, a lot of energy. Maybe you get rewarded, maybe you don't. It's right. Then there's easier money. And I'm thinking, gosh, man, this was easy money. It was easier than the grind that I had put into coaching for all of these years. So I started going, okay, here's the question. And then I started going, okay, here's the skill. What is your primary skill? I started going, man, I have a skill of activation. Then I solved a problem. The problem was they needed influence. They needed activation. And they needed, let's just call it capital to grow the company. The vehicle in this case was a publicly traded company. Okay, this is the vehicle. Skill, problem, vehicle. And in this vehicle, you could experience a $1 million day by owning stock in the company. Everybody see that? Okay? Because before this, I didn't think like this. Right? I thought grind it out, input in, output out. Right? In the coaching company, what if we could get to $40,000 or $50,000 a day? That's $10 million a year. But you got to hit that number every day, 5 days a week. It's very hard. You have good days and bad days. Right? And I'm like, this is a bigger play. What's your skill? What problem are you uniquely qualified to solve? How are you distributing that skill? So right now, I'm on the board of directors of that company, and I want that company to win. Safe space. They created AI multimodal technology that keeps places safe. Gun detection, biofacial recognition. So think school systems, hospitals, prison systems. Right now, it's in the Kansas City Transit, where they're putting it on all the buses that can identify people have weapons. Like it really has a big mission. And this thing, in my opinion, has the ability to get to $2 and then uplist to the New York Stock Exchange and then even get to $10. And then it would be a $1 billion company. Okay. And then we're not talking about $1 million days. We're talking about 30 or 40 or $50 million days. Okay. Now, this is just one example. What is the formula? Use a skill, solve a problem in a vehicle. Can your vehicle get you there today? Okay. The second one is this. And this is another way to do it, because a lot of people think, well, I'm never going to do this. And what I want you really thinking is I want you thinking, here's the way a lot of people think. This is the way I thought. I'm going to go over here and use my skill. I'm going to solve a problem because money changes hands when problems are solved. I'm going to make money. I'm going to store away some of that money. I'm going to invest that money into something. This is a typical way that people think. I'm going to work my booty off, right? I'm going to grind it out. I'm going to make a little profit, excess cash, which is a sign of a good business. I'm going to take the excess cash and I'm going to go buy something. Okay. This is how I used to do this and still do it in some way. I use the skill, except I started using my skill in multiple ways. Coaching, speaking, training, leading. Now I'm into activating brands. Now I'm into raising capital. Now I'm into building or creating greatness factories. Look at all the ways I'm using the same skill. Is it baking soda again? Same skill used in a different way. Same skill used in a different way. Okay? Open up your mind here, folks. But Don Berg, this is a hard way to do this. Okay? I'm going to work my butt off. I'm going to solve a problem. I'm going to make some money. I'm going to invest in something. Okay? Now, what I originally did was took the profits from my coaching company. So let's pretend over here that I have profit. And I went down here and I started investing in real estate. And I went out and I bought this lodge out in Christiana, Tennessee for $1.3 million. Okay? 27 acres, $1.3 million purchase. Where did the money come from? Okay? If you're watching this, where did the money come from? It came from running a successful primary business. I used the profits from that business to go purchase real estate. But I said, hold on, I'm going to buy real estate that I can actually coach at. And in my first year of owning that lodge, I think in the first 6 months, we generated $500,000 of revenue. So I used my skill to solve a problem, to create a profit, to go invest in real estate. Now, you say, well, where's the $1 million day at? Okay. Well, I hadn't had $1 million day yet in that business until I sat on this lodge for 5, 6 years, and this doubled in valuation. Then the lodge was worth $2.4 million. So I get a valuation and it's worth $2.4 million. Now, let's see, Keegan, if I can pull this up and I'll show it to him. Okay. And let's go. Let's see if this is it. No, that's not it. TheLodgeTN.com. All right. Boom. There you go. Keegan, can I see that? Okay. So I took the coaching business. All right. I showed a profit in the coaching business and I go, man, listen to these questions. I go, man, I love coaching people. I love real estate. What if I could coach people at the real estate that I own? And what if I could buy something cool? So you see this right here. I bought this lodge. Okay. Look at that in the snow. Okay. 8,000 square foot. And I go, these are all the ways we could use this lodge. We could do virtual events. I could do coaching sessions. We could have weddings. That's a famous actor right there, a famous comedian named Heather Land. Okay. So when you think about it, I could host conferences here. I'm like, I could combine my love of coaching with my love of real estate. You say, well, where did the $1 million day come from? I buy this piece of property. I sit on it for X number of years. I have it reappraised, and it appraises at $1 million more than what I bought it at. And I go, boom, we just had $1 million day. Okay, everybody see that? So let's go back to our thing. So this is one thing that I did. And then I go, okay, what if I bought this? What if I built something? What if I built something cool and I took the money from the coaching company and I built the Greatness Factory, which is what I'm standing in right now, which is an 8,000 square foot building. Okay. When I bought this, I bought it for $3.6 million. Before it was finished, it appraised at $7.3 million. Okay. I built it out. I used the equity in the building to build the property out. Right. And it's worth more than what I bought it at. Okay. So that's $1 million day. So this shows you the Greatness Factory right here, 300 plus members, all the stuff that we got, the hub of everything that we teach and everything that we do and how we do it. And you can see that at thegreatnessfactory.com. Now let's go back to our formula. Let's go back to our formula, because I want you thinking I want you thinking, it's like, how did Coach Burt do this? People ask me, I'm sitting over there in the money lab one day and a guy says, how did you do this? How did you build this $7.5, $8 million building? This is the formula right here. I found my skill. I went out and solved the problem. I generated profit. I went and invested in real estate, except I combined my love of real estate for my love of coaching. And that is called intentional congruence. Everything feeds everything. So this past 2 days, I've been out at the lodge coaching, right? This week, I'll be speaking here at the Greatness Factory. I coach 2 to 4 times a month here at the Greatness Factory. For all the people that are members, they can watch it virtually or they can come in person. This is a place of positive expectancy. This is a place, this is not the complacency factory. This is the Greatness Factory. This is a place when you walk in the door, it's like, I want to do something bigger. I want to play at a higher level. I'm ready to go pro. You're downtown Nashville, okay? This is the second way that we experienced $1 million days. Now let's go to the third way. We got a skill over here. Remember this? We're going to solve a problem over here, and we're going to be able to rinse and repeat this. And we're going to put it into a vehicle. The skill for me is the skill of activation. I'm going to solve the problem of influence, obscurity, and activation of something. Then we started saying, what if we could go get into the data center business? Okay. What if 2 of my top students, Nick Fields and Dr. Johnny Shanks, came to me and they said, man, we've been studying these data centers and there's a big problem. Money changes hands when problems are solved. They said there is more demand for storage of data than there is supply. What if we could get involved in this? So we started Blue Marlin Capital. And I own 100% of Blue Marlin Capital. Okay. And then we said, okay, what can we do here? We're going to go over here and we're going to raise capital. We're going to raise, let's just say $16 million. We're going to go purchase racks of data. We're going to put them in a data center. People need to rent this data. The rents are going to kick off distributions. So we went and got right at, I think, 60 plus investors. They invested $100,000 to $1 million. Off every $100,000 investment, we paid the investor $41.66 per month. And that's on an expectation, we anticipate 7 years. Off the $100,000 investment, the investor makes $48 or $49K per year, and we invested it in that. This business, we started raising $1 million a day in some days. Now listen to what I'm about to tell you. This is how people would do it. I would get a text message from people. Hey, can I invest $100,000 in this? Then I get another text message. Hey, can I put $400,000 in this? Hey, can I put $1 million into this? Okay, through a text message. Now, let's go back to our formula. Skill. The way we raised a lot of the capital is through one-to-many webinars, speaking engagements. Skill, problem, vehicle. Now, the next play for us in these data centers is to actually, this is what we're figuring out now that we're in this game. We can actually build our own data center and have about $19 million worth of racks of data in there. We raise, I think, $1.5 million from investors. We bank finance the rest. We build the data center and we turn around and we sell the micro data center. This person, friends and family, our goal there in 1 year is to double their money. So they put 1.5 million, they get 3 million back in 1 year. Or we come back and we give them the 1.5 million back. Now we're not going to do that after we've done a few of these, but in the early stages. So now we're into to building and selling the micro data centers. Okay. Now what you're seeing here is you're seeing same skill used in a different way. Okay. It's like, okay, this is a bigger play. How do we go out into the marketplace and how do we use the skill to solve a problem to have a bigger play here? Okay. So let's look at the formula. What if, and you got to get clear on this right here. To have $1 million day, you number one have to have an impeccable skill. Most likely that skill is supported by secondary skills. Okay. So how do we find that skill? This is the number one thing people are going to ask me. Because if you read 8-figure skills stuck in 6-figure vehicles, you're going to ask me, well, how do I find this skill? What if I told you that we're going to find this skill by looking back? Now, a lot of coaches are going to tell you, don't live in the past. Don't live in the past. What if I told you that the past is exactly where all the gold is? What if I told you that I am actually paying you for your past? And your past helps me to build my future. But that past has to be packaged. It has to be marketed before it can be monetized. So we're actually going to go back to the past. This is what I've been doing in Person of Interest the last 2 days. We're going to go back to the past and we're going to ask some key questions. Okay? If you're looking at your skill and you're trying to find this hard skill, and I want to put hard skill, not a soft skill. Soft skill is, well, I'm good at connection, or I got great people skills, or I got a good attitude, or I show up every day, or I dress nice. I've had people that dress nice, that showed up every day, that had a good attitude, that could not convert those soft skills to money. I want you to think of a hard skill as a skill that solves a real problem in the world. And there are people out there who would pay big money. Dan Sullivan used to call it, they would write you the biggest check. Okay? So we got to find this hard skill. So where do we go to find this? We go to your past. We go to your past experiences. We go to your past breakdowns. We go to your past mentors. We go to your past education. We go to your past breakthroughs. We go to your past, oh, I like this one, demonstrated capacity. If you read the parable of the talents in the Bible, the master gave each person a sum of money. A talent was a sum of money. And the master said, right, I'm going to give each one of you a talent, which was a sum of money, based on your abilities. That implies that people have different abilities. Take this sum of money, a talent, go do something with it and bring it back with interest. And the people that brought it back with interest, the master said, well done, good and faithful servant. That's the only place that's in the Bible, to my knowledge. Well done, good and faithful servant. You've done a great job with a little. I'm going to give you some more. This is why you need to do a great job no matter what your job is. Your job is sweeping the floors. Be the best damn floor sweeper you can. Your job is clean the bathrooms as best you can. Your job is to drive somebody from A to B. Do the best job that you can. Okay? Every time I've got advancement in my career, it's because I took a little bit of opportunity and did a great job with that little bit of opportunity, and I got more opportunity. And a lot of people don't understand that. Okay? So when you're looking at your past and you're trying to find your skill, you're looking at all of these things. There's certain experiences that you've had. No two pasts. There's 8 billion people on planet Earth. No two pasts are exactly the same. So I look at my past. I was raised by a single mother. I grew up in a small town where people cared about each other. I was on a baseball field and in gymnasiums. I had a speaking coach when I was 15. I was coaching by the time I was 15 years old. I was a head coach at 22. I studied under Stephen M. R. Covey. I lost all of my confidence at 25 through a breakdown and was clinically depressed. I learned how to rebuild it. I showed significant growth from 25 to 30. I had better coaches. From all of that, I developed a skill. Now, if you look at the habits of the top performers in the world that make millions of dollars, they have a boldness, they have an intrinsic motivation, they have great connection skills, they have grit, and they lock in. These are the top 5 habits of the top 1% of performers. Okay? Where do you get these from? Your past. Your past. So when you're thinking about finding your skill, I want you to look backward. See, when I look back in my life and I go, okay, how did I get this coaching job so early in life? Had a lot of prey drive, had a lot of grit. What was I really good at? Was I good at motivation? Was I good at building a team? Was I good at X's and O's? What was it? Then I figured out one day, man, I was good at activating things. Activating enthusiasm, activating a dream, activating a boldness, activating monetization, activating a culture, activating an ecosystem. Last week when I went to Wilmington, North Carolina to speak, the guy said, I want you to activate our ecosystem. I go, whoo, activate an ecosystem. See, that opened my mind. What if I could activate a whole city that was dormant? What if I could activate a brand that was undercapitalized? What if I could activate? See, I'm sitting there and I'm going, man, what are all the things I could activate? See, at first when I found my skill of activation, I didn't really think it was sexy. I thought, well, man, this is kind of boring. I got kind of a boring skill. And then we use that skill to go out and be part of raising, close to $30 million or more for 3 different companies: Safe Space, Blue Marlin Capital, Pitch Equity, our private equity fund. And I'm down in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we just raised $3.5 million in a Pitch Equity to take 20% of this huge real estate development on the water that's going to be beautiful. And I was looking around that table, and every investor had come from our network of people. And I started saying to myself, what if I'm doing this to do that? Everybody hear that? What if my coaching business, this is where we're getting deeper, so you got to hang with me here. What if my coaching business is my passion business, my give back business? Yes, we want to make profit. Yes, we want to make money. But what if by me writing the books and traveling around the world was really just a big feeder system to meet the best people in the world, and to take those relationships and go do something bigger? What could we do together? We could raise capital. We could build micro data centers. We could buy $1 million of real estate, or millions of dollars of real estate. And I call this, I do this to do that. I do this to do that. See, some of you are in a vehicle right now, and you're going to find out as I get into the vehicle next, you're going to be like, man, my vehicle can't get me there. I'm a little high school teacher and I'm doing this and I can't make any money. In the book, I talk about a $4 million teacher in Korea. Andrew Kim makes $4 million a year and he's a teacher. He sells his courses online. He had over 350,000 students buy his courses. Now think about this. Here's a guy who's teaching making $4 million a year. I call it the $4 million teacher. It's in the first chapter of the book. And I see all these teachers out there who go, I'm underpaid and I don't make enough money. And what could I do? And I'm going to just stay here for the rest of my life. And I'm sitting here going, come on, man. Study what Andrew Kim's doing. Hal Urban was a high school teacher. He wrote a book called Life's 20 Greatest Lessons. He sold 1 million copies out of his garage. I bet he's making $10 a profit per book. He's made $2 million. Guess what he did? He's a high school teacher. Some of you live there and you go, I just don't think I can do it, man. I just don't have a skill set. I just don't have a problem. I'm in the wrong vehicle. You could still be a high school teacher and make millions of dollars. I was a high school teacher. Same skill, used in a different way. There's our baking soda. Same skill to solve a different problem. Same skill. You with me? So what is your skill? I'd love to see in the comments. David said, how many people tried to capitalize on opportunities but failed? I failed over and over and over. But I don't see it as failure. I see it as I didn't lose, I learned. Right? And that takes a lot of psychological flexibility. You know what that is right here? Boldness. Boldness is different than confidence, guys. Boldness is the willingness to move towards something, even if you don't know it's going to work out. And it's going to be messy. And it's going to be unpredictable. The analytic out there is never going to go out and have $1 million day because it's got to be perfect before they get started. They're masters at one thing, procrastinating. The analytic is a master at slowness. Right? The visionary is a master at speed. It's not the big that eat the small, it's the fast that eat the slow. So I don't lose, I learn. Okay? Same skill to solve a different problem. Now, when we're thinking about this, this is how the formula looks. This is called the fundamental relationship. Is you're over here and you got this skill. And what if you could define it in one word? Then you got this problem. You got your problem over here. Or you've got an ambition over here. And typically in between these two things is a concept. And I wrote a book on this called The Perfect Concept. I'm coming out on Audible with this. It's a concept. $1 Million Days is a concept. It's a mental construct. Deconstructed, codified. And it pulls people towards you. Before you become famous, learn how to position by concept. Okay, so you have a skill. The skill comes from your past. The skill is used to solve a problem. Money changes hands when problems are solved, but you need some kind of concept to pull people together. Look, right here's the Greatness Factory. Pulls people in. Deal Flow Center. Opportunity Center. Okay, now, here's what I just taught in Person of Interest this weekend. We have to find your X factor. That's your skill. We have to package the X factor. We have to market the X factor. We have to monetize the X factor. We're never going to experience $1 million day if we got weak skills. Packaging, anything the consumer can feel, touch, taste, or see. Webinars, master classes, books, speaking engagements, events. What am I doing right now, guys? I took a concept of having $1 million day. I deconstructed exactly how I did it. I put it into an 87-page book. I turned it into a masterclass that we're going to use this masterclass. We may sell this masterclass in the future. All of my members, it'll go to the online academy because they get access to things like this. I'm teaching all my students how to have $1 million days. That is packaging. Idea, packaging, marketing. What am I doing right now? I'm marketing the book. I'm showcasing. I'm showing you how I can help you. But because in church this morning, I was sitting there listening. He was talking about, transformation, and transformation really is the renewing of the mind. It is an internal job, not an external job. The kind of coaching that we offer renews the mind. It renews the heart. It renews the spirit. It renews the knowledge, right? It's like body, mind, heart, and spirit. You're growing all 4 parts of your nature. You're in a renewal cycle. Okay? So when you think about it, it's like many of you have an 8-figure skill, but you haven't packaged it. You don't know how to market this. Therefore, you're not monetizing it. Okay? Now, let's go back to our formula, and then we're about to get into the vehicle. You guys having fun tonight? We've been going for an hour. Let me know if you're having fun. Let me know if you got some energy about you. Okay? What we're talking about tonight, if you haven't got the book, $1 Million Days, go to CoachBurt.com right now. Purchase the book. Kaylin on my team will reach out to you if you purchase the book from tonight. If you're serious about doing something with me, I can coach and mentor you. You can invest with us in one of our funds. You can rent one of our assets. These are the things you can do with Coach Burt, okay? So if you're interested in that, go buy the book. Kaylin will reach out. She'll send you a link. Over the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm opening up probably about 4 hours a week to talk to people and engage with people. Okay? That's all you got to do, man, is go buy the book. Chad, thank you. Susanna, thank you. I'm seeing all these people on YouTube. I mean, it's Sunday night, folks. I drove down tonight just for you. Right? I came into the Greatness Factory just for you tonight, man. For the people who show up, for the people who grow up, for the people who deliver. We don't whine, we don't complain, and we don't make excuses, man. It's like we're doing it on Sunday night, okay? We're getting ready for the week. This is your prep work for the week. Okay? Now, let's go back to our formula. Skill, problem, vehicle. Let's focus right here for just a second. Money is just a piece of paper. It's just energy. That's all it is. It's exchanged all over the planet. There is no shortage of it. It's literally everywhere. Okay? If we walk down to Broadway tonight in Nashville to Kid Rock's, which is a honky-tonk bar, they produced $40 million last year with drinks and food and music and a building. Okay? What problem are they solving for people? Fun? Escape? Entertainment? $40 million for fun, escape, entertainment. That's it. So money is exchanged, Travis, all over the world when you use your skill to solve a problem. But listen to what I'm about to tell you. Just because you can solve a problem does not mean that's the problem you are supposed to be solving. You're going to hear very talented people say this: you are most powerfully positioned to help the person you used to be. And I'm thinking about that one day. And in the old days, I would just went along with it. Like, yeah, that's right. Like in the old days, I would have went along with just find your why. Critical thinkers go, hold on a second. I used to be a high school basketball coach. I never made more than $55,000 in a year. I worked 320 hours. logically I'm most powerfully positioned to go back and help that person do something? Yes, if they want it. What if they don't have any money? I remember I was going to create a program for college coaches. And one of my best friends who's a college coach said to me, they're not going to pay you thousands of dollars to help them. They couldn't even get their mind around paying thousands of dollars. So I don't like this thought that, hey, I'll just go back and help the person I used to be. What if you were broke? Right? I want to go help people who want to invest in themselves. I want to help people who want to have $1 million days. I want to help people who have a hunger and a prey drive about them. I want to help people who are alert, curious, and responsive. I want to help people who are serious about their future. That's who I want to help. Okay? And that ain't always the person I used to be. So when you think about this, some of you think, well, I'll go back and help that group. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you have fun working with that group? Is it profitable to work with that group? Does it give you energy to work with that group? Is it exciting to work with that group? Just because you can solve a problem does not mean that's the problem you are supposed to be solving. So let me ask you as straight as I know how to ask you. Okay? What problem are you uniquely qualified to solve based on your primary skill that is highly enjoyable? It's highly profitable. There's internal and external profit. And it's highly meaningful. Okay? It's highly enjoyable. It's highly profitable. It's highly meaningful. There's a return on my energy. There's a return on my investment. There's a return on my objectives. It's a level 10 opportunity. I am uniquely qualified to help somebody do what? Activate something, build something, create something. Creative problem solving. Okay? So when you're thinking about you're thinking about, man, I want to have this $1 million day. Yeah, man, you could go do something that's completely miserable and have $1 million day if that's what you want to do. Like you can go make a bunch of money doing something and be 100% miserable. But if money is just currency, it's just exchange, who do you want to exchange with? I want to exchange with somebody who's alert, curious, responsive. What problem do you want to solve? Let me give you an example. We're working on a deal right now through our private equity fund called Pitch Equity. That's Scott Boroff and I. And one of the world-class resorts in the United States came to us, and they asked us, could we raise $20 million more for them? And I'm going to draw this up on the board. And they said, here's our problem. Here's our problem. And I'm going to reverse this. We really want to raise $20 million more to go build some more things on this resort. And they want to do that because they believe if they can just add a few more features to this resort, some big resort empire conglomerate will come along and buy it. And then they'll cash out for hundreds of millions of dollars. So they're looking for $20 million. And they come to us in our private equity fund to raise that capital. And it's like, okay, we could raise the capital, but you don't have any equity to give us. And man, I don't know about you, but I like owning things. I like being a part of things. I would love to say, man, I'm one of the owners of this resort. I would use the resort to bring high net worth people together, to activate, to do retreats, potentially have a greatness factory there. Okay, we go up there and we listen for 2 days to their everything that they got going on. Okay, and at the end of it, I go, you know what? I got a skill set of creative problem solving, and I am really an activator. And I think what I would like to do is, instead of raising this capital, I would like to come up with a way to help you get 41 new members at $1 million. This will bring in $41 million more dollars. You only asked for 20. And what for us, I would like a 20% commission. $8 million plus. They get to keep, what is that? 33 million, which is 13 million more than what they asked for. We get 8 million. And I go, man, I think this would be fun. I think this would be exciting. I think this would tap into my competitive prey drive. Like I don't know if we could do it or not. What if we could do it in one night? What if we could invite 200 high net worth people, 5 million and above, drive them to the resort, showcase the resort, invite them to take an action and be a member of this really cool club that only 41 people are members of. And let's gift it to some famous people. Like, let's give a few away to some famous people. And let's, in one night, out of the 200 people, let's treat them to this resort. Let's show them what it's like. Let's wine and dine them, and let's say, look, we're gonna give you a chance to do something special. You're gonna be a member up here at this resort, and you're gonna get this and this and this and this and this, and we're gonna call it a special name, and you get all access or whatever we come up with. And you can strut around this resort and say you're part of this club. Now, if we could do this, when we do it, let me change the language. When we do this, if they agree to it, because I've already presented the idea to them, that literally could walk away and be an $8 million day. Then I have changed the book to $8 million days. Guess which skill we would use to do it? The skill of activation. There's our baking soda. Same skill, used in a different way. Now, guess what attracted one of those founding members to me? Writing books, speaking, coaching, podcast. That's what attracted that person to me. And I'm like, we do this to do that. This is where I am in my life, man. I want to help people play at such a freakish level. I want to activate a boldness inside of people. I want to activate an imagination inside of people. I want to activate like the prey drive inside of a person where they go, I can do this. And this would be fun. Okay, what we're doing here is we're using this skill. We're using a singular skill to solve a problem. It's fun, it's profitable, it gives you energy, it's exciting. And let's add it's a little competitive. This activates the prey drive. Prey drive is your instinct to pursue. If you hadn't read my book, Flip the Switch, Wall Street Journal bestseller, thank you to all the people who bought it. Okay? Boom. That will activate your drive. Skill problem vehicle. Now, in my notes, remember that baking soda? See, some of y'all are solving a problem and it's like, gosh, this problem is exhausting. It's headache money. It's babysitting. It's not any fun. Let's go back to the skill and let's ask this question. Let's see if I can find it. What if you could look at it this way, right? What if you could look at it like this? What do I love to do? What do I love? What am I deeply passionate about? Where is there a need in the world that I could fulfill? And what is my conscience telling me I'm supposed to be doing? See, at the intersection is your voice right there. So if you look at voice, at the intersection of those things is your voice or calling in life. Okay, I'm looking at your comments. Cameron Calhoun, you on my radar, brother. I'm looking for you in that coaching program. Okay, yeah, you on the hot list. You on the red zone. Okay, so we're using a skill to solve a problem, and we love solving the problem. We're passionate about it. This means to suffer and irresistible belief for motive or action. There's a need in the world. This is where the money's made. We're solving a problem, and your conscience is saying, man, this is a good thing. We're doing well by doing good. We're doing good things, and therefore we're doing well, okay? Now, let's go back to the vehicle. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to the vehicle. And let's go back to my black on here. Boom. And let's go back to, okay, nice and big there, okay? All right, let's go to the vehicle. The vehicle, okay, the vehicle is the distribution channel of how you're going to distribute your talents to the world. So think of the vehicle as your work. Okay? I've talked about different vehicles tonight. I've talked about a coaching business. I've talked about Safe Space Global, which is AI multimodal technology, publicly traded company you can invest in right now, SSGC on the stock ticker. I've talked about Pitch Equity, which is a private equity fund where we raise capital, blind pool. You put money in, and we return money to the investors, typically 16 to 18%. Big real estate deals, businesses. I've talked about Blue Marlin Capital, which is data centers. Okay? These are all vehicles. Just like I drove down to Nashville today in my car, in a vehicle. Okay? Vehicle is the work that you're choosing to do. Now, here's my question, because I always like to say, I see Scott Boroff just landed in Boston. That's my partner in Pitch Equity, CEO of Safe Space. The vehicle that we want to distribute in can either get us to our goals or it cannot. I always like to say you cannot drive to Hawaii. Okay? You can take a boat, you could take a plane, but you can't drive to Hawaii. The vehicle cannot get you there. Okay. If you are in a vehicle that can't scale, it can't rapidly grow, it can't experience a quantum leap like Pritchett talks about. It can't, right? Like if you had a quantum thunderbolt, what can I do if I'm in a vehicle where I can't experience $1 million day? There's three things. I can torch it. I can tweak it. I can use it. I do this to do that. Three things that we can do with a vehicle. I could torch it, burn it down. Right? It ain't working. It ain't ever going to get us there. This is a headache business. Okay? I can tweak it. Let me use another word. I can reposition it. I can restructure it. I may be able to get there. Let's go back to our A to B. I may be able to get there. Right? Here's where I'm at. I may be able to get to the B goal through right here, strategic partnership. That means I take my skill set, and I partner it with another person's skill set. And together, boom, we can get to the B goal. I can't get there on my own. Okay, now let me give an example here. Question from, how can I access the programs that are available? Real simple, go to coachburt.com. You can fill out a form. We'll call you. We'll explain the program, the membership. You can buy a book tonight, $1 Million Days. Caitlin on my team will reach out to you. Thank you for buying the book. Schedule a call to get you going. Okay? That's how we can get you into a program tonight. It's real simple. You can go to the website, boom. Go to membership, outlines everything for you, and we're good to go, okay? And I can probably post in here in just a few minutes. Now, let's say that you have a skill, but the skill in its current situation can't get you over here, and you start going, who can I partner with over here? One of my examples is I was generating about 1,000 to 1,500 to 2,000 leads many years ago in the coaching business. I had a small boutique firm. I had 3 or 4 salespeople. I didn't want to go. Okay. I didn't want to go and build a 50-person sales team. I have this idea one day. What if I could partner with a company that had 300 salespeople? And there was a company in Nashville that did that. I went to the company. I said, look, guys, I got a problem and y'all got a problem. My problem is I can't get to all the leads. Your problem is I'm generating more leads than you, and you got 300 people. So I know how to generate leads, and you know how to coach people. Let's partner, and let's go make $25 million, $30 million together. Okay? Strategic partnership. Who can help me do this? Because if we're looking at our vehicle, right? If you're in a vehicle that cannot get you to your goals, then what I need to do, right? And let me pull something up here. Masterclass book. I'm going to pull something up for you guys and post it in here. There's the masterclass and there's the book. Let's see here. I'm going to post the book link in here so you can get that, and that'll help you book a call. There you go. Okay. Now, let's say I'm in a vehicle that can't get to my goals. What can I do with the vehicle? Because I'm trying to experience $1 million day. It's like, man, I can't get to $1 million days in this business. Maybe we get to $50,000 a day. Maybe we can get to $100,000 on an incredible day, but we ain't experiencing $1 million day. And I told you there was 3 ways that we had $1 million days. Stock and safe space went up, raising $1 million a day for capital, purchasing big real estate deals. They go up in valuation, raising capital. Okay. So I can torch it. I can tweak it strategically, or I can use it. Listen to this one right here. What does use it mean? I want you to open your neural pathways right now. Okay. I want to open the neural pathways. You can get to your goals if you have a strong enough skill, if your brain will be open. Like to experience a quantum leap, listen, guys, all I've studied for the last year, I have been fascinated by quantum leaps. All I have thought about, all I've studied is quantum leaps, which are huge, significant jumps. And I have concluded that you have a quantum leap in one of 2 ways. You meet a new person, and that new person gives you new knowledge. Like if you get into my coaching, you're going to get new knowledge. You're going to have an activation of a mindset. You're going to have an activation of a boldness. You're going to have an activation of imagination, because I'm going to bring you new knowledge packaged up the way I package it up. And you're going to go, this is how I could do it. That'd be a big revelation. Or somebody's going to introduce you to new people. And those new people are going to have you have a quantum leap, right? It's the old, when I spoke at 10X. When I spoke at 10X, I was introduced to 10,000 new people. The key to the many is to the one. Okay? The key to the many is to the one. All right, question. Coach, how do you have a B for each of your businesses? Yes, I have a B goal for each of the businesses. B goal for pitch equity or private equity, $100 million, raising $100 million to do a big real estate plays. B for data centers, we're raising this much, or we're flipping those data centers. B for the coaching business, $10 million. Okay. B for Safe Space Global, $2 uplift, $10. That's a B goal. It's called an aiming point. Okay. And what we want to do is we want to drive everything toward that aiming point. So good questions on here, guys. I posted the link to get the book. Get the book. Caitlin will reach out to you. If you're serious about doing something bigger with me, we'll book a 15-minute call, and boom, we'll talk about how we can get you into the coaching, how we can do some one-to-one work or whatever it is that you're looking for, okay? Now, I've got a skill. I've got a problem. I've got a vehicle. I want you to ask yourself a hard question right now, guys. Can your current vehicle get you to $1 million day? In its current state, can you experience $1 million day, a $5 million day, a $10 million day? See, this is gonna tell you, Keegan, my battery's getting low on this. I may need a plug in here. I'm working so hard, the battery on the iPad's going out on me. This is going to help you identify the business you need to be in, where you need to spend your time. Like if you go back and you really study quantum leaps, you need a clear aiming point. You need to focus on the ends versus the means. You need to get started before you're ready. Okay? And you need to get moving. You don't need to think about it. Thinking is where dreams go to die. Planning department, dreams go to die. You need to get into action toward that B goal. Okay? But if the vehicle can't get you there, it's like, hey, how do I tweak it? So let me show you how I would tweak a business. My model is pretty simple. I create concepts. I market those concepts. I attract large numbers of people who want to better their life, get a seat at a bigger table. I then invite those people to something, like I'm inviting you tonight to a masterclass. I then go, look, man, masterclass ain't going to change your life. Watching me on YouTube is not going to change your life. Watching me on Instagram is not going to change your life. Okay? Just reading my book's not going to change your life. It's going to open your mind. What really needs to happen is you need to enter into, right, the transforming and renewing of the mind. You need to have some type of training and consistency. And the way we do that is through our membership. What if I told you that through the members, we started the data centers? Through the members, we raised capital for Safe Space. What if I told you we started Pitch Equity through these partnerships? Through the membership. What if I told you $200 million worth of deals have been sourced through the membership? So what if I told you, man, I got to come up with a concept that solves a problem. I got to market the concept. I got to attract people in. I got to invite them to something. Because where there's no invitation, there's no monetization. Okay? Where there's no invitation, there's no monetization. I know a lot of people that talk. I know a lot of people who communicate with people. What they don't do is they don't invite them to something in the future. So right now, here's my vehicles. I got a coaching company. We got a private equity fund. We got a data center fund, and we got a publicly traded company. Okay. In certain companies, we take a piece of equity of those companies. We help those companies exit. Right now, we're doing creative problem solving for people. Okay. These are all vehicles. So at the end of the day, when you're thinking about it, it's like, okay, what's my invitation? Skill, problem, vehicle. So I go, what am I uniquely qualified to write about? How do I market it? How do I attract people? How do I invite people to something? And then how do I get them in a consistency with me? Okay. And the consistency with me is the coaching. It's the membership. Morning message to your phone. Training the online academy. Come to your coaching sessions. Renewing of the mind. Renewing of the spirit. Renewing of your skills. Okay. Now let's look at some of the questions we have here. You're not seeing the link in this thread. All right. I'm going to post it back in there again. See if you see that. That's for the book. You can also get the book at coachburt.com. You can go to coachburt.com and fill out the form that you want to call. These are all things that we can do to help you, okay? Keegan, you finding a plug in here for me? I'm down to my last little piece here. There you go. See if they give it a little juice there. Okay. We're having fun tonight, folks. We're at the Greatness Factory and we're having fun. All right, let's come back to these $1 million days. And I wrote in my notes, all of this is in the book, by the way. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All of this is in the book. This is how a lot of people go about this. They go get a job or they become an entrepreneur. They make money. They save money. They then invest money. How many of you have ever played this game right here where you know, you gave a financial advisor 300 grand and then 8 years later you still got 300 grand? That'd be me, folks. What I want to do is not have a job, have a vocation, have excess cash, skip the saving, go straight to investing. Invest in bigger plays that could produce $1 million days. Everybody see that? This is what most people do. Job, make money, invest. Never have $1 million day. How many different ways did I show you to have $1 million day today? Investing in a company where you get stock. Okay, the stock can go up, a company you believe in. Buying real estate, the real estate appraising in value, appreciating in value. Having a liquidation event where you sell a company. I'm working with a couple insurance companies that are not going to have $1 million day. They're going to have a $20 million day. Okay, build something and sell it. When I spoke at 10X, I didn't make $1 million that day, but because I had such a large sample size, I made $1 million over a course of a couple of years. So it really was $1 million activation point. Man, I've never said it like that before. I've never said that there's $1 million activation point. What did I tell you about what we're trying to do at the resort? Invite 200 high net worth people, drive them to an activation point, sell memberships. What if we sell 30? That's a $30 million day. When we're raising capital and we're raising $1 million a day, that's $1 million day. This is possible, but it'll never be possible if you don't find your skill, you don't know the problem, and you can't find the right vehicle. Okay? So let's close it up tonight with a few of these things, and I'm going to take some Q&A here. I was thinking today about anytime I go into a scenario where I'm going to coach for a few hours on a live session like this, I go into it and I ask a simple question. What action do I want people to take from spending an hour and a half or 2 hours with me breaking down a book? And the natural action I want people to take is to take the next logical action so that they could experience this. So what do they need? They need knowledge, they need skill, they need desire, they need confidence, they need relationships. Okay, so when I do something like this, it's like, what do we want people to do? What we want people to do is enroll in our membership at the Greatness Factory, because the Greatness Factory is this magical place. You can get it online, you can be in person. It's a one-time payment of $4,500, which is a lifetime initiation fee. You never pay that fee again. You pay $397 a month, and you're a member. You get all access to all of my coaching, because tonight's not going to change your life. Watching this 2 hours with me is not going to change your life. Reading this book, as good as it is not going to change your life. Renewing of the mind, renewing of the spirit, being in a consistency with me, that is going to change your life. So the first thing when I sit down to do something like this, I'm like, what do I want people to do, man? What action do I want people to do? I want them to enroll in the membership. You can go to coachburt.com, click on membership, and there are people who see things and go, that dude can help us. It's less than $9,000 for an entire year. And if you can't make $9,000 back, then something's bad wrong. Either I need to get out of doing what I do, or you need to get out of doing what you do. You need to get on the right bus. Okay. And the bus is the vehicle. So obviously membership is an option. If you want to have a call and talk about it, purchase the book. That's a little skin in the game. It's $14.95. You can do that at coachburt.com. Caitlin on my team will reach out to you and say, hey, are you serious about doing something with Coach Burt? If so, she'll send you a link. It'll book a call. That'll be in the next probably 2 to 3 weeks, at the most 3. And I'm opening up time on my schedule to do these calls with people. Okay. That's an option. Some of you out there, it's like, man, I want to invest. I got money sitting on the sidelines and I'm interested in investing in a private equity fund, getting that 16 to 18% returns. Some of you want a distribution, and we're distributing money, $1,000 a month, 12% year over year. And then with the 5-year kicker, and you're like, hey, that's for me too. Just book a call, let us know. And Jana will most likely reach out to you on that, pitch equity, and then we'll keep moving that ball forward, okay? Or come see me speak somewhere, right? In a city that I'm in, at the Greatness Factory. There is a way to purchase a 1-day pass and come to either the Lodge or the Greatness Factory and taste the ice cream. Go, these are the things I want you to do. You say, well, Coach, why would you want people to do that? This is how we change people's lives, man. Okay. And I know a lot of coaches get a lot of bad raps, and there's a lot of fugazis out there in the coaching space that really don't coach people. They don't write their own books. I get it. Okay. But we do believe that everybody needs a great coach in life, and we believe a great coach can change your life. Some of you got the talent, man, but you just, you don't have a talent problem. You got a marketing problem. You've got a distribution problem. You got a knowledge problem. You got a vehicle problem. Okay. And I think our coaching just refines all of those natural skills and talents that you have. Okay. So the invitation tonight is simple, man. If you don't do anything else, purchase the book, $14.95. Some of you say, that's all I want. Hey, it's fine with me. Go there, purchase the book. We thank you. We appreciate you. If you do want to book a call, Caitlin will reach out to you, and we'll get that scheduled with us over the next several weeks. And I still call people. I still talk to people. I'm really only looking for serious people. So make sure if you get on the call with me that you want to do something. Okay. All right. I think tonight's been a good call. I really do. I think we covered a lot of ground. It's all in this 87-page book called $1 Million Days. We really hammered home skill, problem, vehicle. We got into opening the mind and the neural pathways of how you can play at a much higher level. Hopefully it activated some boldness in you. It activated some imagination in you, and it activated a prey drive in you to go, I can do this, man. Now, I want to go back just a little bit as I close, and then I'll take some questions. I go back to when I was 25 years old, 26, 27 years old, high school basketball coach, $2,500 a month, $119,000 condo. I loved it. I never thought about money. I never was really interested in money. I'm like, man, I just love being a basketball coach. I'm totally consumed and obsessed with being the best. Okay. And because we were really good at what we did, opportunity came up. Tell me how you're doing it. I took that opportunity like handing me a football, and I ran with it. And I studied the top coaches, and I went and hired coaches to coach me, and I learned the game. And then I started my business at 31 years old. And in my first year, although we generated revenue, I didn't really understand how much money we needed to grow, to expand, to build, to market. That's when I started going, man, I need to grow my financial IQ. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I drove to the bookstore, Barnes & Nobles, and I bought a book written by Robert Kiyosaki and Sharon Lechter called How to Grow Your Financial IQ. I bought Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I bought Cash Flow Quadrant. I bought How to Grow Your Financial IQ. And I mean, I read these books and I'm like, dang, an asset adds. A liability subtracts. I want to be an asset. I want to build assets. It wasn't 10 or 15 years later that I was sitting at Sharon Lechter's house, who wrote that book, having dinner with her and her husband, Michael. We're talking about a vision of greatness factories, right? I'm having dinner with the author. who I was reading her books. It's the coolest thing in the world, man. And we went on tour together around the country. So when you hear me talk about a lot of things and you're out there listening and you go, it's not possible for me, man. I'm in some little job. I'm not even making 50 grand or 100 grand. That was me. That was me. Driving an average car, living in an average little place. I loved it. Coaching out of school, but I had two things going for me. I had a great skill and I had a commercial instinct like Price Pritchett did to take my skills to a bigger place. Okay? And if I'm talking to you out there, here's what I would beg you tonight. Let's not have this talk 5 years from today. Let's not keep talking about this in the future like I'm undercapitalized, I'm on the wrong bus, I'm doing the wrong thing. You know how many times I hear this as a coach? And I'm like, well, let's do something with it, man. Let's get you a seat at the big table. Come to the Greatness Factory and let's get you a seat at a bigger table. And there's no way after being around me and my team and the factory that you're not going to be activated. We're going to activate you and we're going to activate that business and we're going to activate your wealth. I'm going to show you step by step how to get a seat at the big table. I'm going to take all of my books. This will be number 23. Can't even believe I've written 23 books. All of my content that's in our online vault. We're going to deconstruct it month after month after month, right? And I'm going to help you build a knowledge and a skill and a desire and a confidence and a relationship capital that you cannot believe. And I'm going to rebuild you from the inside out, just like I used to do those basketball players. Okay. So if you're here with me tonight, you're watching me on Facebook, you're watching me on YouTube, take a step, right? Purchase the book, go to the site, say you want information. We will contact you and we'll sit down and we'll talk about your bigger future. How does that sound? Okay, guys, I got a few minutes. I hope you think this has been great tonight. I'll take a few questions. I'm on YouTube. I'm not on Facebook right here looking. And I can go to my Facebook here. I'm seeing some inquiries come in. You got some questions? Yeah, 819 views on Facebook. Let me say hi. Look at all these people. Sterling, Chris, James, Joe, Diva. Oh, wrong one. Joanna. Thank you, Joanna, for posting the links. Diva. Man, we've had a heck of a night tonight here. Let's see where we're at. Are you seeing any more questions? I probably wore these poor folks out. They're probably exhausted. Great session. Excellent time invested. Thanks for training us today. There we go. Man, we're getting a lot of views on here. Yes. Okay. Who's been your biggest inspiration, helpers, and how'd you meet them? 18 years old, Stephen Covey was my greatest mentor. I studied under Covey from 18 to 25. Huge impact on my life. Helped me build the whole person theory, helped me find my voice. I then was trained early by a guy named Mark LeBlanc that really encouraged me to get into the speaking business. Then I was trained by Dan Sullivan through Strategic Coach. I had unique access to Grant Cardone from 2014 to 2018. And then I spent time with Dave Blanchard, who owns all the rights to Augmandino's work. And then obviously this past year, Price Pritchett, the great Dr. Price Pritchett, who I'm doing a program with right now. Those have been some incredible mentors for me. So great question. Look forward to getting the book. Thank you. Thank you. Man, tonight's been a great night. It was worth every bit of this to come into the Greatness Factory to help you guys tonight. Remember, $1 Million Days ain't just about money. It is really about bigger think, bigger opportunity. It is really about expansion. That's really what the book is. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm seeing a few more here. Is there an open data center investment? Yes, that is coming in fund number 2. Okay. So there's 2 ways you can invest. And as we move to the new ones, it would be to invest in the data centers in fund number 2, which should be up pretty soon, or to actually participate in the flip of those data centers where we're building those micro data centers and flipping those like I talked about tonight. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. Happy Sunday night. I believe in you. Everybody needs a great coach in life. I believe most people want a seat at a much bigger table, right? And I do believe you can experience $1 million day. The book shows you how to do it. Thank you for a great night. I look forward to talking to you, to the people that purchased the book. Caitlin will be reaching out. I look forward to seeing new people at the Greatness Factory. And I know there's a lot of coaches out there in the world. Thank you for letting me be yours. You guys have a great night.